Hey, everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan and a little breaking news from my research today. I guess it's pretty popular. Less than 20 minutes ago, and it's already got 44 retweets, or we should say reposts, and the likes just keep on rolling in. This is the Digital Dollar Project. A retail cross-border remittance payments pilot that involved Western Union and the Philippines. All right, everybody, let's get into it. The August report was published, and within these 39 pages, there are some surprises. No, not that they used DLT, and not that it was kept secret up to this point, but they used a DEX, a decentralized exchange. Wow. It's a component to simulate a CBDC across a border to the Philippines, to the largest bank in the Philippines with Western Union. As it goes on to say, a DEX was selected as a component that provides a market for currency pair exchange to explore potential benefits associated with a decentralized marketplace to improve competition and price transparency. Given that the pilot was set up as Western Union purchasing the Philippine pesos CBDC in advance of a customer remittance being initiated, it involved conducting two sequential simulations. One was the issuance of a CBDC by the central banks to financial institutions, and secondly, a peer-to-peer remittance payment. So this is both wholesale and retail. Amazing. I'm reading a lot of comments and they're coming in already. I hope this is not on Ethereum. Well, in the description, it is definitely DLT, distributed ledger technology, and benefits of this type of infrastructure that they cite is the ability to tokenize a bearer instrument, enabling the global settlement finality between two parties simultaneously. Now, what they're talking about is atomic settlement. This is with a shared private ledger, reducing the need to reconcile books and using the DEX to reduce FX cost. So the fact that it's a private ledger, well, that tells us it wasn't tested on the public ledger of the XRP ledger. So we know that for sure. Atomic settlement, well, that leads me to believe that this is maybe Hyperledger or could be Ethereum. But one thing we can be sure is that they didn't use a bridge currency like XRP, because there was this shared ledger where the atomic settlement happened simultaneously. Now, it could have used the XRP ledger decentralized exchange to reduce the FX cost. The fact that Ripple is an expert in sourcing liquidity and really an expert with foreign exchange and currencies, I wouldn't doubt that maybe this component is part of the XRP ledger, but it's hard to say. And, you know, these types of details are always kept very close to the chest. They don't open the kimono. I think eventually it'll come out and we will learn, not through a leak, but a lot of these projects, the details come out, you know, the real deep details come out at a later date. These sovereign fiat stablecoins, it's a real war. PayPal today launched their own stablecoin. Main reason? Well, they explicitly say it will hold some T-bills. This is a way for them to make money. It's going to be called the PYUSD, and it's going to give Circle and Tether some healthy competition. The Blockchain Show, uploaded just about 10 days ago, is a conversation with Ripple's head of liquidity products. Now, he's been with Ripple for 6 years, and I'm going to play some clips out of this. But I want you to keep one thing in mind. According to David, just 3 months ago, he says that the XRP ledger has never seen 1,500 transactions per second. He suspects that it could happen, but currently configured probably can only sustain 3 to 500. And the reason why I bring this up is because you're going to hear a lot about how they have a North Star and they are scaling for enterprise use, but they're not quite there yet. Brad Chase, who is the head of liquidity, says that it's still a challenge for large payments. Yes, it's done 30 billion in volume so far and 20 million transactions, and it's very early in their long-term view. Patience is going to be key with this digital asset, XRP. And when you hear the word ML in these clips, that refers to machine learning. Okay, do enjoy.
So for Ripple and the type of problems we solve for our customers, kind of really come out of a cross-border payments use case. So, our flagship product today is something called on-demand liquidity, which is a cross-border payments product. And to send a cross-border payment, that's kind of involving fiat on both ends. We bridge that through a digital asset as a bridge currency. In order for that payment to work, you need to be able to trade between, say, a crypto asset like XRP and a fiat currency on each part of that transaction. And the availability of that liquidity, how much is around, how much, what are the prices that are available is key to the capability of that functioning. For this cross-border payments product, on-demand liquidity, we've done, something like almost $30 billion in volume since the beginning, about 20 million transactions. And not surprisingly, you need to automate that. That's a thing that can't just, be a human on the other side of each of these transactions. But part of what makes automation challenging in this context, which is that some of the decisions that need to get made are not deterministic. So there's some elements of volatility that comes into play. There's some degree of forecasting needed. And when you're faced with these type of problems where you're trying to deliver that kind of consistent, excellent customer experience at scale, but it requires solving these dynamic problems kind of in real time, that's where ML comes into play. Specific example for our customers in cross-border payments, we've started with more remittance customers who like to send smaller value, more frequent payments, but have moved on to other more treasury customers. So you're a customer or company that wants to send a large cross-border trade. It may be too much for the available liquidity in the market today. So what we were talking about earlier, like how much is really able to absorb and people to be on the other side to facilitate your trade. So you intelligently want to break that up into smaller type of trades. But to do that well, you need to understand and forecast what other customers are going to be coming in, their needs, what the dynamics of the markets will be that can react and respond. And so we've developed kind of that scheduling technology that takes in those forecasts and figures out how to kind of, for the customer, doesn't really have to think about it, but on the back end, we're busy developing that for them. The fun thing for me that we're working on and building towards is like how these two products that we have today, Liquidity Hub and our cross-border payments product on-demand liquidity, start to kind of combine and support each other in the sense where that ideal world where you can send value to anybody delivered in whatever token or currency they want and pay for it on the front end, whatever other token or currency you want, have that settling instantly and globally. That's, the exciting internet value vision that Ripple was founded to go deliver. And we're starting to have those pieces where, we have that kind of, global fiat network with on-demand liquidity, 40 plus payout countries. We now have Liquidity Hub that's really good at sourcing and managing digital assets. And as you start to combine those experiences, I think we get to that kind of really foundational internet of value experience for our customers, where this is really running at enterprise scale, bottom of the global financial system stack where, it really can be tapped into. So I think that's kind of the North Star I'm excited about for Liquidity Hub, and we're not there, we're still in the early innings as it were, but that long-term view Ripple has is what keeps me excited to come to work every day, is incrementally making progress towards that vision.
And I'm going to let Wietse Win of XRPL Labs take you out. He is making a comparison between his new Hook sidechain and Flare networks. All right, everybody, until next time, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
How do you see the hooks and the Evernote combination compared to what Flare's trying to offer us?
To be honest, I don't. It's been a while since I've looked into Flare. I'm not even sure what they're offering. So I can really only speak to hooks and Evernote.
I think I can answer this.
Yep.
With
Go ahead.
with with a disclaimer that the same goes for me, of course. So what I do know about Flare is that they have built this EVM supporting platform that bridges networks and chains by what they call the state connector. They have an Oracle-like solution where you have assets and asset prices brought into this one network, Flare. And then if you bring all the different assets from different chains and price information, etc., to one platform, then you can use all those assets in one ecosystem, basically. So they're what they call wrapped assets, right? Representation of that of that asset locked on another chain, which means you get assets from all kinds of different chains on one network. And you have pricing information for all of them, and then you can use them all on this one network, which is really focused at the assets, bringing the assets from different networks to one place. If you look at what Evernote, for example, is doing, it's like the best version of Legos. You get this big box and you can build whatever, like come up with it and you can build it, and you benefit from all the things we like from the blockchain space, right? Single source of truth, clear history, shared states, shared distributed state, etc., etc., etc. And then what hooks is to the XRPL, it just makes the XRPL composable. It makes the XRPL do whatever you come up with within the boundaries, of course, of what you can do. You can influence behavior before a transaction is applied and after a transaction is applied, but that gives you a canvas to paint on, to build creative things, to do enterprise things, to do compliant things, to do fun things. All on the ledger we already know and appreciate for having a lot of features natively and being fast, being cheap, being efficient, being very easy to work with. I think all the developers who played with the XRPL know that like the things the XRPL can do are just really easy to address, well documented. So hooks make the XRPL a very interesting platform for all the things you couldn't do on the XRPL, and then Evernote allows you to extend that to anything you'd like to do. So it's not focused on just bringing the assets together on one place. It's focused at building whatever